Have you ever really thought about what it's like to learn a language from scratch? I mean, day one, hour one. We hear all about becoming fluent, but what's that very first step? Well, we're going to decode a real beginner's German test to see exactly what it teaches us about those first building blocks.
Okay, so picture this. You've just walked up to a Sprachinstitut. That's a language school. It's your first class ever. What are the absolute must-knows to just survive that first conversation? That's exactly what we're about to find out.
So just to be clear, we're not here to take this test. Nope. Instead, we're going to pull it apart piece by piece. Think of it like a blueprint, a map that shows us exactly how a language introduces itself to someone totally new. It's a pretty fascinating look into the logic, right?
All right, first things first. You got to be able to say hello, right? So naturally, the test kicks off with the most basic social skill there is, greetings. But here's the thing, it immediately teaches you that when you say hello really matters.
And the very first phrase they hit you with is Guten Morning. This is your classic good morning. Super simple, totally essential, and the perfect way to start the day.
And the context they give you is absolutely key. The test materials show a classroom, sun's coming up. It connects the phrase directly to an experience you can relate to, the start of your morning class. Smart, right? Okay, next up, probably the most useful German greeting of them all, Guten Tag. It literally means good day, and this is your go-to for pretty much the whole daytime. And once again, the test gives you this great visual to lock it in. Here we've got a daytime scene, looks like an outdoor market. It just hammers home that Guten Tag is for when you're out and about, sun's up. It's all about learning in a way that feels like the real world.
So as the day starts to wind down, the language shifts a bit. And that's when the test introduces Guten Abend, which of course means good evening.
The visual cue here, a couple at the Kino, that's the cinema. At night, you can see the moon. It's the perfect way to make it stick. And just like that, with only 3 phrases, the test has taught you how to greet anyone politely at any time of day. Pretty cool.
Okay, so you've said hello. Now what? Well, you want to make a connection, right? So the test moves right on to another super practical skill, how to actually understand and jot down contact information. This is all about turning spoken sounds into something you can actually use.
And this part is so clever. It breaks it all down for you. First, you learn the keywords. Punkt is a dot, at is the at symbol, and minus is, well, a minus sign. Then you hear it spoken. F. Li 0 2 at F minus N E T .de. And all of a sudden, that jumble of sounds clicks into place as a real, usable email address. And they don't just stop at emails. The test uses the exact same logic for phone numbers. It teaches you to hear someone say, 015, and know to write down 015. It's such a critical skill for making plans, for staying in touch, and the test makes it a priority right from the get-go.
All right, so we've got greetings, we've got contact info. Now the test gets to what I like to call the engine of the language, verbs. This is where we go from just repeating phrases to actually building our own sentences and sharing a little something about ourselves. So check out this table. It shows the verb kommen, which means to come, and it highlights a super important rule in German. See how it changes? If I'm talking about myself, I say, ich komme aus Vietnam. But if I'm asking you, formally, Sie, the question becomes, und woher kommen Sie? That little change is called conjugation, and it's totally fundamental. And the test introduces it right away with a really practical example. So you've got your nouns, your greetings, your verbs, you've got a pile of words. The next logical step, and what the test does next, is teach you how to put them together in the right order. It's kind of like turning a pile of Lego bricks into an actual car or a house.
So the test literally gives the student this puzzle, just a jumble of words. Sprachen, Sie, Wilke, sprechen. For a beginner, this is just a random list, right? The whole challenge is to find the hidden logic, to see the pattern. And then, voila! Here's the solution. The words just snap into place to make a perfect, clear question. Welche sprachen Sie? Which means, what languages do you speak? See, this exercise isn't just about memorizing words, it's about learning the grammar that creates meaning out of chaos. Okay, finally, the test gets into something that's way more than just words and grammar. It starts to teach you about culture, about social rules, by introducing one of the most important ideas in German, the difference between the formal you and the informal you. And the difference is just crystal clear here. If you're talking to a friend, you'd ask, Wie geht es dir? How are you? But if you're talking to a stranger or your boss, you have to use Wie geht es Ihnen? The test gives you all these examples, showing how picking between the formal Sie and the informal du can change the whole sentence.
So here's the thing, and this is so important. Learning to use Sie correctly isn't just a grammar rule. It's a sign of respect. It's a piece of cultural knowledge that shows you get the social norms. And this test makes sure you learn that on day one. Seriously, day one.
So when you take a step back and you look at all these different pieces, you realize what's really going on here. This test isn't just throwing random words at you. It's actually very strategically giving you a complete toolkit for your very first real conversation. And what a toolkit it is. You get your basic greetings for any time of day, you learn how to share contact info, you get the core verbs to talk about yourself, you learn the rules to build a proper sentence, and you get the cultural know-how to be polite. It's an incredibly smart and practical foundation.
So just by decoding this one simple test, we've basically uncovered the essential blueprint for starting any new language. It all kicks off with these super practical foundational skills, which kind of makes you think, right? If these are the very first steps, what would you want to learn how to say next?